Hi everyone, my name is Steve Lawson.
My name is Anya Fofana.
Welcome to the live demo sessions for RSNA 2020. We thank you for taking the time to be with us today. So we're live at our global headquarters here in Waukesha, Wisconsin, where we are in our Signa Artist Bay. So we'll be doing 2 more of these sessions, these live sessions tomorrow, so feel free to attend those. So today's session, we would like to talk to you guys about the air coils, positioning, some workflow things with the coils, and then also reviewing some images with you around how these air coils actually perform.
Yes, and we're going to start with just showing the air coils and just explaining the design. And the first coil we want to demo is our 30-element AAA coil, which I have in the hand here. So this coverage of the coil is 65 centimeter, and it is divided in columns and in rows. And I will just go to a different camera that you can appreciate a little bit more the length of the coil. So when I go here to the front, you can see how long this coil is. When I really cover I think the video is just frozen. I'm not sure if everybody can see it. Maybe we have to relaunch the video. Okay, we will just relaunch the video. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, looks like it's coming up again. Okay, now we want to switch camera angle, and then you can see the coil. So here, that is the coverage of the coil. As I said, 65 centimeter, and my height is 175 centimeters, so I'm not the smallest woman. And you can see that it easily covers on me also the liver and the entire pelvis just in one scan. So this coil is nice to use because you don't have to follow any rules. That means, think about you have a pregnant woman in your scan room or a patient with a bigger belly. Then you can also use that coil and just put it in the other rotation and scan like that, and you still have, again, the coverage you need, and you have also the coverage from the side, where with the conventional coils, it's always hard to really get signal from the side of the anatomy. Okay, we wait again until you see the camera, and then we go ahead and show you the MP coils.
All right, great. So we have these other coils as well. These are what we call the air MP coils, MP standing for multi-purpose. A lot of all the same rules apply basically for these. You can use these for any anatomy that could fit into the coil. So you can wrap them. The coil elements can overlap without decoupling or detuning. You can use this for, maybe a smaller person for just doing an abdomen or a chest exam. You can use them for pelvis imaging, or most commonly would probably be used for some of the musculoskeletal imaging that we'll be doing. So for shoulder exams, for knee exams, hip, foot, ankle, we'll show you guys some setup with these particular coils. But this is a 21-channel coil. This is what we're calling the large coil. But we also have a medium coil as well. This coil is a 20-channel MP coil. So this will work great for some of the smaller things that you might scan if you were doing a hand, wrist, elbow. Some of these exams, this is where this medium MP coil would come in helpful for you.
And then we forgot to mention, and maybe it's clear, we can combine these coils with each other. So for sure, you can combine the coils always with the embedded PA coil, which is the table. And when we look at our artist scanner or our architect, the 3T version of our artist scanner, we are talking about 40 elements embedded in the table. And you can combine these coils always with the PA coil, or even combine these coils with each other. So you can use one MP coil, combine it with a large area A coil, or whatever you want to do, which is really nice. One thing, because now we have so many channels in the field of view, we launched something in order to recognize the coil elements, and that is air touch. We talked about that in our previous session. We don't want to talk about that here in that session, but just so that you know that you don't have to worry as a technologist how to select these many coils and the elements to have always good image quality. The system will that do for you, because we have air touch on all of our scanner portfolio, which is really a huge help. So I want to start now the session really with showing you some examples for maybe if you are having a hospital where you are scanning like little children or pediatric scans. So in that case, what you can do is you can combine these MP coils, for example, and really have a nice setup for your little tiny baby. So think about you have to scan an entire body. So what you can do is put the head coil onto the scanner. Then we have a vacuum mattress here, which you can put underneath. And then we have the one coil here, which you can just put in combination with the area A coil. And then you can have your little baby, just place it into the scanner and wrap the rest of the coil just around it. You see that you have now the coil elements as close to the human being as possible. So when we otherwise would have to use the PA coil, sometimes with small babies, it's too far away. Now with using the MP coils, it's really as close as you possibly can. And there are multiple other scenarios in how to use that. So for example, what we can do is when you don't have to scan the brain itself, you can just go ahead and put the baby. If you want to have maybe the entire spine, you can just put the baby on that coil here. And as you can see, you can cover the entire length again with one coil. In case you want to do the spine in combination with the abdomen, you can combine now these coils here and do that as well. So I think there will be somehow a solution which helps you to like really offer a little human being scanning here with the MP coils. And don't forget that these coils are really lightweighted. So I'm not worried that when you have only a few pounds on your table, that we have to worry about coil weights or such, because these coils are really lightweighted. Okay, so that is the first setup we want to show you. And then we have a volunteer ready for us here as well. So we just built the table slightly different and show you the setup for LSK scanning here. So the first thing we want to demo is the knee imaging. So as you can see, we have something on the table which is kind of helping you to have some guidance with the coil. That is a positioner, and it's dedicated really for knee imaging. So what Steve does now is really taking the coil, strapping that around the knee, using this positioner and especially the Velcro strap on that positioner to bring the coil element as close as possible. So again, and maybe I repeat myself, but I really love that about the air coils, no rules here. So the air technology really helps us to make sure that we don't decouple any signal. So you can overlap as much as you did here. You can overlap way more if you have thinner knees. You can do less if you want to do. So there are no rules, and you will always get good image quality, which is really helpful and easy to do. And as you can see, it was easy, it was quick and fast, and we have the knee really stabilized in that position, so I'm not worried that he will move or things like that. So that is one use case where we really see the MP coils working and functioning a lot.
Yeah, with these coils, because they are so flexible in design, they kind of just cradle the knee very securely. With these straps and everything, it just rests very nicely. If you have rigid coils, you tend to put padding around the knee. After maybe a few minutes, that padding itself can cause pressure points. Those pressure points can lead to discomfort through the exam or cause the patient to try to move a little bit to ease that pressure. So having this solution where it just fully is around the knee seems to do really well with positioning for these exams.
Yeah. And then you will see how easy it is, just like to keep the coil on the table and switch to ankle scan. So he just removes the positioner. And the nice thing is we do have also an additional positioner for the ankle exam. So I just hand it over here. I don't want to go too close with the mic. So again, you see the same idea that we have like Velcro straps attached to the positioner. So we will place first the coil in there, and the Velcro does work well, as we can see. So we have to open it first. And then you see again that the coil fits perfectly into that positioner. And then the foot will be in that positioner and be again strapped just however we want the coil around that foot. So that is also kind of the first time that you are able to have so many coil elements close to an anatomy where we know that there's like different shapes and different forms. It's always hard to otherwise do an ankle. Now we do have 21 elements as close as possible to the anatomy, which helps you again with acceleration and to really get signal close to the anatomy where you want it. And the positioner helps you to have the patient stable on the table. It's not that you have to build something or that you have to like do a lot of work to make that work. Now with this positioner, you saw it's almost as easy as using a dedicated coil. Okay, then maybe just one other case where we can see the MP coils or where we do see the MP coils working a lot. So for example, if you do want to do a cardio scan, and you're really focused only for heart imaging, you can be on the table again and feet first and just use this coil as easy as putting that on his chest. You don't have to strap the coil down or anything. You can just put the coil, you can shape it, you can round it however you want to have the signal around the heart. So that's really a nice thing too, that you can come as close as possible with the anatomy again, like with that coil. Okay. So now we just go ahead and ask our volunteer to move in the other way. And then we show you some other ideas about how to utilize the air coils. Okay. So for example, if you want to do a shoulder scan, for sure, we can do the MP coil again. And we do have these Velcro straps, which you can also like easily bring to the table here. And just slide them in on both sides. And then we can just go ahead and bring again like these 21 elements as close as possible. So I ask him just to lift up his shoulder for a little bit. Thank you. And then we just wrap it around, and we have these kind of like security belts here on the table. And I usually do like to put one underneath his arm and the other one on top, because I don't want them to feel that I strap them down too much. That's all you have to do, and you're ready for the shoulder scan. And the coil never left the table, and we did like an ankle, a knee, or anything. So as a technologist, that also helps you a lot for workflow purposes, because thinking about all the dedicated coils you usually have, you always have to like bring them to the table, bring them back to the table, have to get them ready for the next exam. here in that scenario, you have them always on the table. You might want to use the positioners, but that's all you have to do. So that's really a nice and easy workflow. If that coverage is not enough, then I showed that yesterday during another live scanning session on our other scanner. But for example, you have to scan like really a long humerus, then I can just use the 30-element area coil and just put that underneath his shoulder. So now you can see I have even like his entire elbow covered as well. So now finally I have an option to scan the entire humerus just in one scan. So and I don't have to like use different coils, which is really nice. Another use case where we really see users often use our air coils is for spine work. Think about your patient coming into your facility and tells you, I cannot lay on the back for the next 10 minutes for the spine scan. So now, especially when you are an artist and you have a whiteboard, ask them, how can you lay positioned for 10 minutes? So maybe they want to go on their side. So just let them lay on their side and move that way. And then you can just go ahead and get this coil wrapped around his back and strap them down again with Velcro. And that's all you would have to do your spine imaging. And we have images ready for you that you can look how nice they turn out. So you have a solution now for any patient, no matter how they come into their facility. Another thing, for example, you have a spine patient, a cervical spine patient who cannot like bend over that much and doesn't fit in any coil. So now you can take any of these coils as well, just maybe put them underneath the spine, okay? Lay down again. And you have again a solution. So that is really, really convenient, and you don't have to worry about like not having a coil for a patient anymore. Okay? Okay. Always in combination with the other coil. Another thing which I just want to quickly show before we look at some images at the end. So think about you want to like scan and do abdomen and pelvis scan maybe. And then for some reason, the patient also needs to get the knee scan. There's now also no issue with having these coils. You can just wrap around an additional coil around the knee and do that with or without the positioner and go ahead and scan like that. All these coils don't need to be really strapped down on the table or be connected to the table. You don't have to worry about coils changing position because we are using air touch. Air touch does recognize the coil before we start scanning because we are creating a sensitivity map. That means we have always like exactly the information where is the coil in that field of view. And that is why even though the page is maybe really big and the coil got stuck in the board, I don't worry about that because we're creating this sensitivity map every single time we start a scan, and the system knows where the coils are. So that's really very convenient for the technologists. Okay.
So we had a question about how low the table goes. So I just want to show that when we get the subject off the table. Take the coil off. So it goes down to about 75 centimeters or so, I believe.
Yeah. Since this is a detachable table, that is why 75 centimeters. If you are looking for a solution where the table goes lower down and you have a table which is attached to the scanner, then the table goes down until 45 centimeters. Okay.
Okay. So what we were thinking now is that we would show you guys some images, a few examples of some of the air coils with different anatomies that we have just discussed. So I'm stepping here to my console. I've got the AW server up. What we did is we just thought that we would show a couple of examples here. Um, so this is a knee example. This particular patient was imaged with the 30-channel anterior array, which is the larger of the air coils. This is a post-surgical patient, so you can see that there's some changes here. So this scan is a stir that's 1 minute and 25 coronal. And a typical knee coil wouldn't have covered this much in the Z direction here. So we extended, or the field of view was extended to be able to cover the area of interest. And you can see here, this is a 2 minute and 18-second scan, 26 centimeter field of view with fat suppression. And then also some of the other scans here. So this is a T1 weighted sagittal, very high resolution, 512 by 512. So the coil does provide enough signal to be able to support this type of resolution. Also, parallel imaging was used too. When we look at some of the other planes here, so this is a small field of view, 18 centimeter. So even though we're doing smaller fields of view, we still have adequate signal here through the images. I'll just kind of go through these a bit and let you see what kind of quality we can get. So you can see that this is a complex case here from a previous sarcoma surgery. This patient was in a lot of pain, so they said that this ended up providing a lot better results prior to getting the air coil technology at this site. So it gave them a lot of solutions, being able to wrap the coil around the knee and really make great images. So if there are any questions, you can feel free to post them into the chat. I'd be glad to do that, answer any questions. Here's another example here of what Anya was talking about earlier with spine imaging. So this is a large field of view spine using the multi-purpose coils on a patient that could not lay on their back. So this is an example of that. And then they also had done some cube scans, so volumetric acquisition. This this patient has a very bad spine here, so it was uncomfortable for them to be on their back. But we still got really great results here, and even being able to do volumetric imaging when you need to can be helpful, because you get all of these different oblique views that you might need to get in a patient that maybe true orthogonal planes might not give you exactly what you need, so you can do some of these coronal or sagittal reconstructions to get the plane that you would want. Okay, and then I do have a few more examples. Here's an example of a forearm that was scanned with a multi-purpose coil. So let me show you this. So this particular patient has a sarcoma in their forearm, and their arm, you can see the top of their head here. Their arm is raised above their head. They're resting comfortably. They got pads under the coils. This would be extremely hard to do with. So this provided a great solution for this particular patient to be able to do that. So make these a bit larger so you can see the quality that you can get. So this is a inversion recovery. Looks like they had done some small field of view imaging as well. So. Okay, a few more examples here. Let me see what we got. So here's an example, a very hard case to complete for this particular patient, but let me show you a few examples of this. Yeah, that should be enough.
Here's an example. This is a very unfortunate case for the patient, but this is a very bad fracture of the femur. So, you know, this solution particularly was very nice to have to be able to improve the image quality here for this. So this is a 3-minute 45-second scan, but you know, you can see you've got great signal to noise through the image, 3.5 millimeter slice thickness, 512 by 416, all with the air coils. So, and then also getting great results also with the axial images too. You can see it very nicely there. So we've got about 5 minutes left or so, but if any questions, or in addition to the air coils, do you do rigid extremity coils? Yes, we do have those as well. Some customers, you know, might feel like they need some rigid coils. Maybe for some of the smaller anatomies like wrist or hand imaging, you know, if you've got a hand surgeon or a high-end orthopedic facility, then maybe, you know, you would opt to get some of the rigid coils there for those. But, you know, in all reality, the knee imaging, the general imaging with even hand and wrist is going to be quite good with the MP coils. But it just depends really on what type of spatial resolution that you would want to get with the hand wrist. For knee imaging, I think it's really great with the MP coils, foot ankle as well. You know, having these high channel count coils will give you a bit more acceleration options as well, so you can make the exams quite short. So
you still have like all the other coils available as well.
Yes, exactly. We still have the rigid knee coils, the rigid shoulder coils. Yes.
And wrist, ankle, foot.
Mm-hmm. Have all of those still available. Okay. So don't see any more questions, but so if any, we'd love to have you guys back again tomorrow. We're doing 2 more sessions here from Waukesha, and we would be delighted for you guys to join us for that. And then, yeah, feel free to join those sessions. So for the last day for the live demo sessions here in Waukesha. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. Bye.